Welcome to the FC Edmonton pregame show on City. I'm Corey Chillibeck. Well, the Eddies are coming off their best spring season in club history, and they're off to a great start in the fall season as well, as last week in Oklahoma City's Gustavo's goal in the dying seconds of extra time gave the Eddies the draw and the all-important 1 point. Well, the Eddies have made some personnel changes coming into the fall season. Their latest move saw Jason Plumhoff go to Jacksonville in exchange for right back Sean Nicola.
Good. We put in a hard session today. We had some guys from the U of A come and put a little fitness test with us this afternoon, so I think we'll be good for Sunday. All the guys look fresh, motivated, hungry for another 3 points. Yeah, he's got in with the team real quick. I think we're an easy group to get along with, and I think he'll improve as time goes on. So I think he's going to be a good asset for us this year.
Yeah, settling fine. The group of guys are very welcoming since day one, and they've been helping me out here and there. But yeah, overall, it's been a good transition. Yeah, the adjustment will just be the humidity. Going to a good organization up here, so hope to continue that for the fall season. It's been good so far. I mean, like I said, the group of guys is very good, and good character. Each and every one of them, a very positive team, and just looking into help them out in any way I can possible. And we're looking forward to Sunday's game.
And we know they're going to be a difficult team to play against because they've done so well in the Open Cup, and it's just going to be they're on a high. Their tails are up, and we're just going to have to. Kind of take a zing out of it, take a zing out of them because they'll be on a high. Notably they don't travel well up here, but we have to outwork them first of all, and that's the basis of any of our performances. Is we need to outwork the team and outfight them first and earn the right to play, and then start playing. But we it's going to be such a difficult game on Sunday, and we know it's probably our most difficult game. But even more difficult than the OKC game because they are coming with confidence and they're going to be a different team, I feel, and because they've been bitten once by us at the end of the spring season, they're going to be coming here to prove a point. Yeah, it's good to welcome Sean in. Obviously we needed to strengthen a wee bit more at the back because Eddie's departure, but no, it's if he gets a start, Alan done well and stuff like that, so if he gets a start, I'll be keep them right, and boys will keep him right out back there. But he's been brilliant ever since he's come in, and I wish him all the best whenever he gets that first start.
All right, please stay with us because when we come back, it's another session of Footy Fundamentals with FC Edmonton head coach Colin Miller. As well, we're going to take a look back at the NASL Plays of the Week.
Rebound, another save, point blank, and then blocked by Pitch Cohen.
Gilbertson on the left side, looking for a center, there's a goal!
Chip over, looking for Banks. Balls to Ramirez. What a finish by Christian Ramirez!
And another chance here and a big save by Lewis, and it'll be a corner kick.
In today's little training session, what we're looking at is once again to get as many touches on the ball as is possible. And not only do we use our stronger foot, we always focus on trying to use our weaker foot as well. Even the top professionals in the world are all taught how to use both feet. What we'll see here today from the guys is working with both feet and then eventually building up to a chest, left foot volley, chest, right foot volley, and of course finishing with a header. When you're working with your weaker foot, it's really important to take that little bit more care and develop confidence. Control and technique, really, really important for every player, whether you're the top international football player or whether you're a young player. Now with this little exercise, what we're looking at is a chest volley, chest, control, ball coming out of your feet, and a controlled inside of the foot volley. While the other player is working on a header. So we're looking at a two-handed throw, the control with the header, eyes open, big bone in the forehead, that's the part that we use to head the ball, and the discipline now for the control is to head the ball back into his hands. You'll have seen the players today work a lot on their control, so using various parts of the body and building up confidence. Now, all those aspects of the game are so game related because we use our chest to control the ball, we use our head to either defensively head a ball or to score goals with our header. This is your friend, don't fight the ball. Be comfortable using the ball as often as you can. The more touches, coaches, the more repetitions we give our players, the better we will be.
All right, it's that time in the show where we throw it down pitch side to Gareth Hampshire and Steve Sandor. Gentlemen.
Thanks, Corey. Welcome to Edmonton. Great day for a game and great to be back in the fall season for the Eddies. One of the form teams in the spring season playing Fort Lauderdale Strikers, the team they beat in the last game of the spring season and back at home on home turf in Alberta's capital. It's FC Edmonton against the Fort Lauderdale Strikers today as the Eddies continue their push for the playoffs, and two of the form teams in the division up against each other in Edmonton this afternoon. Good afternoon, I'm Gareth Hampshire alongside Steve Sandor, and a big game this one for both teams. Steve.
Yeah, definitely, and Fort Lauderdale has, in the spring season, were one of the best road teams in the league. They dropped their game here, but overall they're a very difficult team to beat when they go on the road. So it's a real challenge, real tight game between the teams the first time they played.
FC Edmonton coach Colin Miller joining us pitchside. Thanks for joining us, Colin. Back in action the fall season. One thing we haven't talked to you about yet is Eddie Edward leaving the club. You've already gone out and got a new fullback. Just tell us what's going to change there.
Yeah, we've brought in Sean Nicolau as part of an exchange with Jason Plumhoff going from the Eddies to Jacksonville. And we're well aware of what Sean Nicolau can do because he was actually one of the players that we had scouted and were well prepared for when we played down in Jacksonville, Gareth, because he's such an attack-minded fullback. Where the problem will lie, and it's not a problem because he's an experienced player, will be how quickly he can settle into our first team playing beside Pap and Albert and Adam Eckersley, because it's been a very consistent back four. But losing Eddie is always a bit of a blow because of the quality of the person. Defensively, 1v1, he's arguably the best in the league. And so it's big shoes for Sean to fill, but we're very confident that he can do that. And once he buys in, as I said earlier, he'll be fine for us.
Last time we spoke, it was after a victory against Fort Lauderdale. I know it's a team that you respect, though. What is it about them that you'll need to neutralise today?
Yeah, they've actually made a few changes since the last time we played, Gareth. They've brought in one or two midfield players. Certainly Alexandra was part of their squad already, but he didn't make the trip here because he was down at the Cup, so he wasn't available then. But he's a big player, he's a big influence for them. Brian Arguez is now part of their squad as well, and I don't know Brian, but he was here for a short spell, and he's got qualities as well. But you know, regardless of whether it's Fort Lauderdale, whether it's Barcelona that come to town, we will treat them with respect. but it's what we do here at the club. You know, we're doing fine here at the moment. We're in a very, very good place in the league, and we deserve to be where we are. So we just don't want to let our standards drop. The guys are hungry. We've had a terrific week at training. We're well organised, fit. We've got 1 or 2 players back in the squad that we didn't have available to us last week. So Nick Ledgerwood comes back in, and he's been a huge influence for the guys this week. And Sean Nicklow comes into the team. So there's a couple of players that will freshen up the squad. We'll move, Dustin Correa to a wider area, and he's that little bit more dangerous coming in from the wide area. So I'm excited to see how the team plays here today. It'll be a big test. We'll have to be at our very best because they're very well prepared. Fort Lauderdale, very well coached, and have good players. But so do we.
Finishing the spring season just a point off top spot. What's been your challenge to the players as you now push for a playoff place? What are you saying to them at this point?
Yeah, consistency, and we can take a lot from Indy's performance in the spring season. And even last night when I watched them against Minnesota, they just go about their work very professionally. Very, very difficult to break down. Don't give many chances away. So we have to continue to be very tight defensively, and we believe that the players we have is at the moment, and the one or two that we'll add over the next couple of weeks will certainly add something from an attacking point of view as well to the Eddies. So keep going the way we're going. There's still a lot of football to be played here, of course. 21 games to go, so a long way to go yet, Gareth. But we're in a good place. We'd take this position at the end of the season for sure. Being in 4th, we'd love to be 1st, of course. But the guys are doing well. They're working hard, and it's a fabulous group of players to work with.
Great. Good luck today, Colin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coach Colin Miller joining us on the pitch as he heads off now to give some final words of encouragement to the players who are up against the Fort Lauderdale Strikers today. Back in action after taking a point on the road in the first game back of the fall season. Let's take a look back on the highlights from that one.
And here we see it open up. Robbie Findlay opens the scoring after a giveaway in the Edmonton midfield. And Findlay finishes the chance from Jared Van Schaik. And there was a big collision, and I said it was Australian rules football style, where Matt Van Oekel got knocked. But he came back and made some big saves. Here we see Gustavo's strike, and I'm saying this might be the best goal I've ever seen FC Edmonton players score in their history. 25 yards out on the left foot, and just rockets it off the underside of the bar and in. Just a fantastic strike.
Always nice to see them rattling in off the crossbar like that. Gustavo on target. And let's take a look at the Road Warrior brought to us by Jet Set Airport Parking today.
Well, let's look at that goal a couple more times. You see just off the underside of the bar, just over the line. I think the keeper, Daniel Fernandez, got a fingertip to it. But Gustavo, what a goal. 93rd minute, last kick of the game.
That's pretty worthy of being any Road Warrior, and you could just see that curve on the ball as well, moving away from the gun. There he is, and what a nice strike, and you'd like to think that he could repeat that a couple more times for FC Edmonton as they push for a playoff place in good position in the league standings already. The Eddies, as Colin Miller said, he'd like to be first, but there they are with, and that's just the fall standings, just 1 point from the road there, and you can see the Cosmos leading the way, but combined, the Eddies in 4th place and in a real good position to strike this fall season.
Yeah, and I think as well, if you're not familiar with the format, the winner of the spring and the fall season each get the top 2 seeds in the NASL playoffs, and then the next 2 best teams in the overall standings get the remaining 2 spots.
Eddies players already warming up on the pitch at Clarke Stadium here. Let's take a look at the keys to the game now with Steve.
I think a couple of them Colin brushed over in speaking with you earlier, but the middle, which is Nick Ledgerwood, back in. Last week, the Eddies missed him terribly, and Nick Ledgerwood's the kind of holding midfielder. He doesn't do a lot. Like, you don't think in the statistics, you're saying to yourself, well, what does he do? And then when he's gone, you realize just how important he is to winning balls in midfield, distributing. Now that he's back, that's going to make the Eddies much stronger in the middle. Replacing Eddie Edward is also going to be key. Sean Nicklow is going to start at right back. Eddie Edward, for the last 3 seasons, has pretty well played every minute when he's been healthy for the Eddies. Doesn't come out of games. Was a vital part of this team, and having to go to Ottawa for personal reasons, it's a huge role for this team to fill. And Sean Nicklow is going to have some big shoes to fill today. And the third is the Strikers. The Strikers have got to be heard. They've got to make themselves heard. Jake Keegan's got 4 goals this year. Daryl Fordyce has got 1. And Tomi Amiobi hasn't scored yet. They need more production out of the front, and it's got to start soon. 2
of the form teams in the division, FC Edmonton against the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Let's take a look at the injury report now for the Eddies. Still a couple of people missing from the lineup.
Yeah, St. Ignasi is going to be missing. Christian Rodales is still about 3 weeks away, and Pablo Cruz is out. And it's also worth mentioning, too, that Richie Jones had to leave the club because of a long-standing knee injury, and him and the club decided to mutually part ways. A very amicable parting, but very sad for Richie Jones, whose knee just didn't get any better.
An amicable one with Eddie Edward as well, and you've already talked about how the team will miss him, but this is the first home game without him. Real fan favorite, teammate in the dressing room. What's going to be the difference that the Eddies will miss there?
Well, I think just he was probably the biggest fullback you'll ever see. He was so physically imposing as a right back that that's a hard thing to replace. And going up and down the field, we saw him, I think, against Fort Lauderdale, set up a wonderful goal to Jake Keegan with the cross. Did a lot of really positive things for this team, and a real warrior. And I think that's a lot for Sean Nicolau to fill.
Sean Nicolau, the man making his debut for FC Edmonton today, though, since replacing Eddie Edward in the trade that sent Plumhoff the other way. It's the Eddies against the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, and the kickoff is coming up next.
FC Edmonton Soccer, starting now on City. Brought to you by City, the Fath Group, High Signs, and Earthwater.
Heads it into the back of the net. He's onside. Beautifully finished. A clinical strike. Far post, and there's the header, and there's the goal for Diakate. Getting his head on that one, and the Eddies are up 2-1. Welcome to a very wet Clarke Stadium. The rain just bouncing down out there for the players. And you can see the ball boys jumping up and down trying to stay warm. They'll be drenched in seconds if they're not already here. A storm settling in over Clarke Stadium. A weather warning that funnel clouds could be in the forecast. And a couple of fans put up the umbrellas. Some of them may have left already. Really torrential downpour just settling in just as we get ready for kickoff here at Clarke Stadium, and I can actually see flashes of lightning in the distance, so it's very possible there may be some weather delays to this game today. You can hear the thunder cracking just above us. At the moment, they're getting set to do the anthems, but
no, I think the referees just said he's called the players off the field. There's a lightning strike close by, and Gareth, I think now we're in at least a half-hour delay.
You can see everybody running for cover there. The players have gone inside, and that's probably down to that lightning strike. And some of the players smiling as they go off the field. We've got a dangerous situation for the cameras who are out there as well shooting this, so we're going to resume normal programming while this situation is resolved. See Edmonton and Fort Lauderdale running for shelter, just taking cover from this storm, and we will update you as we get information. Thanks for your patience as we figure out what's next in our broadcast today. Welcome back to Clarke Stadium. The weather conditions easing off a little bit. Still raining here, but no lightning in the sky, which delayed the game for half an hour. We're about to kick off now, about 7 minutes from now at 2:45. This is why the players had to leave the field.
Yeah, it was really coming down, and actually it was coming down our broadcast booth too. We had to do a little bit of a emergency cleanup here with water everywhere, and it's raining now, but not like it was half an hour ago. And there was a few lightning strikes, and as soon as our referee heard the lightning or heard the thunder and saw the lightning, we pulled the players off, and you have to wait at least 30 minutes by regulation.
Definitely a couple of cracks of lightning in the sky, which is clearing up a little bit now. You can see there the water on the surface and people back in the stands with the umbrellas. Many people sticking around, choosing to stay here, which is a good thing. There will be some surface issues, but it drains pretty well, the stadium here. So although the field's wet, still reasonable conditions, 14 degrees, and winds coming from the east. We may yet see more storms on the way this afternoon, but for the moment, the worst of it seems to be behind us, thankfully, and we're getting set for kickoff, which will be in about 6 minutes from now. Let's take a look at the starting lineups, the players who will be going out for FC Edmonton this afternoon. Before we could give them to you, they were back in the dressing room earlier, but it's now Matt Van Oekel in goal, Sean Nicklaw making his debut at right back for the Eddies, Eckersley at left back, and the central pairing now that's becoming established, the captain Albert Watson alongside Pap Diakate. Three in the midfield, youngster Shamit Shome, Nick Ledgerwood back in the game today, and Daryl Fordyce. Jake Keegan will play on the left, Dustin Correa switching to the right, with Tomi Amiobi up front for the Eddies today. Amiobi in search of his first goal for FC Edmonton, so he'll be keen to get on the score sheet today. Conditions a little bit slippery, maybe those bouncing shots in front of the goalkeeper following up the rebounds could be order of the day today. For the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, Diego Restrepo in goal today, Gabriel and PC, the fullbacks, Agbosamonde and Julius James in the middle, Alexander Brian Arguez, ex-FC Edmonton player, he's in the lineup today for the Strikers. Jason Mora, Luis Felipe, Victor Pineda coming into the team alongside Maicon Santos.
It'll be interesting, very Toronto FC flair to Fort Lauderdale with Maicon Santos. We talked about some of the alumni on this team. Julius James is on this team. We have Nana Adakora on the bench, and of course Gaelic Busamonde is another ex-Toronto FC player. So very, very much Toronto FC feel to the Fort Lauderdale Strikers.
And the goalie matchups today, that could be all important in these conditions. Matt Van Oekel been in very good form for FC Edmonton, and Restrepo in between the sticks for the Fort Lauderdale Strikers today.
Yeah, we'll see. The turf should play very, very quickly today. Now that it's been rained on and is still being rained on. I mean, it is raining steadily right now, much lighter than it was. It actually feels quite pleasant considering the torrential downpour that we had about 20 minutes ago. But now the field, like you said, the keepers have got to be aware of any ball skipping in front of them. Any catch is going to be a little bit more difficult, and Strikers have got to chase every ball into the box and not give up on anything, because there could be some bobbles in by the keeper.
Busy schedule this month for FC Edmonton, and some key games coming up. The Ottawa Fury, and that is next weekend, 2 p.m. kickoff. FC Edmonton against Ottawa. A chance to see Eddie Edward back in action against his old club for his hometown club in Ottawa. And then the New York Cosmos here on the 27th of July, and that is a midweek game, 7 p.m. kickoff. For that one, that'll be a bit special. Game under the floodlights at Clarke Stadium. Carolina in town for the end of July, 2 p.m. July 31st. And then coming up in August, Minnesota United. Possibly a chance to see Lance Lang, although he's been struggling a bit, we've been hearing, in Minnesota lately. If you can't be here, you can always follow us on City TV or get tickets at fcedmonton.com.
Yeah, Lance has not been starting for Minnesota. Really just comes in as a sub, and a very high-profile signing by Minnesota in the offseason from FC Edmonton, and really, I'm sure, not contributing the way he wanted to this year with Minnesota United.
Both teams in action after opening the fall season with 1-1 draws. And FC Edmonton's at Rio OKC, that blockbuster strike from Gustavo, the last kick of the match. And Agbosamonde scoring for the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, playing to a 1-1 draw in their fall season opener. against Miami, and Agbosamonde making the NASL Team of the Week, as did Gustavo, both of them on the score sheet last weekend. The players have just been shaking hands, the two captains, Alexander and Albert Watson, and no anthems. They're just going to get straight into the game at this point after that torrential downpour and storm. And we will be getting into action very, very soon here. Be nice to see Gustavo on the mark again. Let's take a look back. It's worth seeing that strike again. He's not starting the game today, but maybe we'll see him at some point. Look at that.
Just over the line here. You see, at the left foot starts swerving away from keeper Daniel Fernandez and just off the underside of the bar over the line and in. And it was 93rd minute strike to get FC Edmonton a point out of Rayo OKC.
Doesn't come much sweeter than scoring with the last kick of the match, and pretty special strike. That one with the left peg swerving away and bouncing in off the crossbar. Really nicely struck. And that rescued a point for FC Edmonton, which is a good way to start the fall season. Back at home here, going for all 3 points today and up against a bit more of a defensive formation that the Strikers are going with, 4-3-3 today. So we'll see how that works out for them.
And it's important too. I mean, we want to say they want to get this game started quickly because there is in the forecast more severe weather coming. So we're not out of the woods yet. We still see some very dark clouds to the left of our broadcast position right now, and that's the way the wind is coming from. So, we want to get this game in. We don't want to have more delays.
Just 2 minutes away from kickoff now. The players needing that warming up time after being drenched and then getting cold and then going back into the dressing room. That's the reason for this situation today. And for the players, a little bit frustrating. They're out there ready to go and then get delayed, so having to prep again for the beginning of it. Back out there warming up, kicking the ball around. They don't run into this all the time. And we've seen our fair share of storms over the years in Alberta's capital, but the last couple of seasons relatively no problem other than today when the heavens just opened. But the dangerous part, of course, the lightning.
Yeah, I think this is the second time I remember an FC Edmonton game getting delayed. I think we had one against San Antonio a few years back. That was a night game too. I think we were here till midnight or something like that with a lightning storm. But yeah, it was in the forecast. We knew it could happen, and the timing couldn't have been worse. Right when the players were ready to kick off, we got right to the teeth of that cell.
There's the whistle. The referee just bringing both sets of players together, and we'll be underway very quickly here at Clarke Stadium. Most of the players that come out wearing rain gear, just taking that off, leaving it in the dugout. Stripped down to the game shirts now. There's the captain, Albert Watson. You can see from his hair there, just flat to his head, pretty drenched already, even though the rain much lighter than it was at 2 p.m. when we were about to get underway. Still pretty wet conditions out there for the kickoff here at Clarke Stadium.
Yeah, and that 2-1 win the Eddies had over Fort Lauderdale to finish the spring season, that was the only team to beat Fort Lauderdale in the last 10 games. So Fort Lauderdale's been hot, and the Eddies are the only team to have some success against them in that stretch of time. So the Eddies are going to look to repeat that. Should I say lightning strikes twice on a day like today?
Well, they're also pretty happy as well. They're still in the U.S. Open Cup.
Yes, they're the only NASL team still surviving. They'll play the Chicago Fire, I think, on July 20th to keep going and keep NASL hopes alive in that tournament. Obviously, the winner of the U.S. Open Cup gets a spot in the CONCACAF Champions League, so there is a cherry there to be plucked for the winner of that tournament.
So two form teams. Both these teams have been doing well in the latter part of the spring season, and this is going to be an interesting gauge to see where things stand at the beginning of the fall season, with the Eddies 4th place combined standings and definitely in the hunt for a playoff place this time this season. We're just about set. FC Edmonton will get us underway in the traditional home colors of blue and Fort Lauderdale in the red and yellow hoops today. Ledgerwood sending one forward to the edge of the penalty area. Fordyce getting on the end of that one, but ex-Edmonton player Brian Arguez breaking up the play there and winning it back for the Strikers. And there's Arguez again. Move that ball quickly out to Victor Pineda on the left wing, but it'll be a throw-in. And first chance of the match for Sean Nichol to get involved.
I think we can officially call that a 46-minute delay.
Yeah, game pushed back, that's right, 3/4 of an hour today.
I said I hope we're out of the woods with that, and I hope we can get this in consistently with no more breaks.
Alexander trying to get the Strikers taking over, finding Bosamonde, now Gabriel. And that's a terrible pass straight through the middle, and it's picked up by Correa. Correa onto his left foot, tried to slide it through. Fordyce does so. Nicklaw on the overlap there, and Strikers still not clearing it. Gabriel with a pass straight across the back four. Schoolboy error, and that almost played in Correa for Edmonton.
Yeah, Correa looks like he got caught in two minds there, whether he was going to have a go from the top of the box, and he decided he's going to try to play that ball, and the Eddies were able to retain possession, but maybe I think that in that situation, having that shot first time might have been the best option.
Colin Miller, the Eddies coach, talked about Nicklaw getting up on the overlap on the right-hand side, and that was very early evidence of that. Not wasting any time, getting into the penalty area, getting in a good cross with his first touch, pretty much.
Again, you just don't know how this delay is going to affect either team. I mean, they come out, warm up, get ready, get psyched, and then have to go inside. And then they have an abbreviated warm up and come out again. And which team is going to come out with the better legs? You're not quite sure.
So far, some mistakes at both ends. And Diakite playing this one back to Van Oekel. Tight space there for him, but drives the ball through the middle. Bosamonde beating Amiobi in the air, but it drops to Correa again. Correa takes one touch too many, but then gets upended and will take the free kick for the Eddies.
Saw Nick Ledgerwood there win that initial ball, and that's why I talked about in the pregame show. It's how important he'll be returning to the middle of the park after serving that suspension. We see Correa getting fouled there, but he missed last week because of yellow card accumulation. Our favorite. At least I think it's 5 yellow cards here, not like 2 at Euro.
Eckersley on the left-hand side slides the ball in for Watson. Watson forward to Ledgerwood. First touch got away from him, but it might work out well. Chip ball over the top, headed away by Bosamonde. And then a good pass into the midfield for Alexander. Now Julius James taking up the play. James again in possession to the left-hand side. Possible break on for PC here, and he's made good ground to the edge of the area. Cross coming in, headed away by Diakite. Correa challenging for it. PC just gets a touch on it. Alexander to Gabriel. Checks in field. He's picked a pass there to Luis Felipe. A good strike, and that was moving a little bit as well. And Van Oekel, especially in these slippery conditions, does extremely well just to beat that one away and make the save.
Yeah, I think Matt Van Oekel dives to his left there, and I think the ball starts swerving back a little bit toward the middle on him, and he had to reach back behind him. Sure enough, yeah, here we see it. And he actually has to reach back just a little bit behind him to make that play. Excellent save by Matt Van Oekel.
Terrific strike by Luis Felipe. He just hit that one like a cannon. And very, very good stop by Van Oekel in the early stages to keep it goalless here at Clarke Stadium. That's the closest we've come to a goal so far, is from the Strikers. Jake Keegan, who's been in a rich vein of goal-scoring form, got a brace in his last game against the Strikers. He's in possession here on the left-hand side. We'll leave this one for Ledgerwood. And now Eckersley. And the OB trying to tee up the run forward by Keegan. It didn't quite work out. Eckersley returns the ball to Ledgerwood, who just plays it steadily for Watson, the captain. Watson sliding it across to Diakite. Looks like he's got some bandaging on his right wrist as he drives this one through the middle. There's Amiobi holding up the play. Julius James challenging for it. Still with FC Edmonton as Ledgerwood plays it out wide to the right. There's an overlapping run there, but Correa can't make that one happen, and PC gets chopped down by Correa and wins the free kick for the Strikers.
Yeah, Correa got caught there. I think Ledgerwood made a good play there. Correa needed to move that ball a little bit quicker. But caught holding on to it. He had options. Overlapping run down the wing. He could have played the ball down that wing and kept that attack going.
Game being played at a good pace in the early going. 5 minutes on the watch, 0-0 so far. The rain still coming down in Edmonton as Nick Law cushions a header back to Van Oekel.
In fact, Gareth, I think it's coming down a little harder right now than it was at the start of the game or at kickoff.
And Ledgerwood, the ball slipping away from him, and there's another strike by Luis Felipe, who's got good range in the early stages, and Van Oekel again having to be sharp to tip that one over for a corner.
It's a second good chance, and I think Felipe's got the right idea. Don't play with the ball in these conditions. Just have a go. The ball's wet. It's hard for Matt Van Oekel to control. It's hard for any keeper to control the ball. When you got the chance, and I think this is where Edmonton hasn't taken those chances. They had a couple looks at the top of the box. Shoot. In this kind of condition, it's hard for the keeper to catch the ball.
Here comes the corner kick, and Diakite is at the near post to marshal that one, putting it out for another corner kick. All coming from a strike by Luis Felipe, who's tested Van Oekel twice in the first 6 minutes of this match. And comes another corner by PC, headed away well by the Eddies. PC keeps that one in play, and right-footed, he's gone to the far post this time. Good ahead tennis, the Eddies eventually get it clear. Alexander picking it up. Finding Gabriel. Free kick in the middle there for a foul on Ledgerwood.
Santos coming in late there on Ledgerwood.
Just bundling him over. Referee was on the spot. Well, that's a poor back pass, but Van Oekel's favourite to get there just ahead of Maicon Santos. Still a chance here for the Strikers, have started well. Appeals for a penalty there, not really. The referee again in very good position, and Eckersley didn't even look around, playing it.
He waved that off right away, our official. No hesitation whatsoever. So that's no foul there. But a very poor back pass from Sean Nicolau. Put FC Edmonton in a lot of trouble. There's been a few very loose passes in the back to start this game from FC Edmonton.
Yeah, Edmonton just a little bit sloppy at the moment. And the Strikers with another free kick and a chance here.
And in these conditions, free kick from here is very, very dangerous. Diakite gets his arm around. I don't think there's any signs to from here. I think you have a go. Maybe if the conditions, if it's dry out, you might hold this up. But I think here there's nothing wrong with firing away.
Luis Felipe's showed some pretty good shooting boots so far, but he's actually on the edge of the penalty area. It's going to be PC to take this one. He's standing over this by himself. Left-footed, and he's got it on target. Wasn't a bad strike. And Van Oekel again taking no chances, pushes this one around the posts for a corner.
Again, 3 now. Chance from distance, and PC here with the left foot. It's on target. Doesn't have to make Matt Van Oekel move very much. And Matt Van Oekel does the smart thing there, just parry it over. These conditions, catching the ball, not advisable. I don't think that ball was I think with the way it was hit, you don't want to catch it anyways, but...
Goes the corner, and this time it's a very good confident catch by Van Oekel. He's showing good form in the first 10 minutes, and it's 0-0 in part because of a couple of very strong saves by the Eddie's keeper. Amiobi not showing a good touch there, and then his second follow-up clatters into Jason Mora. Referee didn't see anything wrong with it, but Mora is still on the deck.
He's clutching his knee. I think now the Eddie's going to put the ball out.
Diakite does that. Mora's up on his feet, but drops down again. And the trainer being waved to come on for some treatment. Was through that challenge with Amiobi. First touch just let him down, then he had to stretch for the second ball, and it's a knee-on-knee with the non-challenging leg that dropped him to the floor.
Yeah, I mean, the ball comes off Amiobi there. Amiobi's just challenging for the ball. There's nothing malicious there. In fact, there's no foul called on it. It was just simply a soccer player, two players going for a 50-50 ball.
Well, it's the right knee that he's getting treatment on. See the people in the stands, not ideal conditions today. People wearing the ponchos or with the umbrellas.
Yeah, all the fans who hung in here today deserve a prize of some kind, because these conditions set around 2 o'clock around kickoff. I mean, we were getting it in the broadcast booth here. The rain was coming in, and it was coming in pretty good. It's coming sideways almost.
And the Strikers sportingly throwing the ball back to Van Oekel. And Mora is going to come back in the play, the Strikers number 7. Amiobi, good control this time, and turns to the right-hand side and moves towards the overlap. It's a throw-in for Edmonton. Free kick given against Amiobi this time. Still looking for his first goal.
Yeah, Tony Amiobi's had many chances. He had and even missed a penalty early in the spring season. Talked about it up at the top of the show that Keegan's got 4 goals, but Fordyce and Amiobi have one between them. They just need more production from that position. They've done well. They've gotten some goals from midfield. They've gotten some goals from the defenders. And obviously where they are in the standings, their defensive record, there's no arguing about it. They're the best defensive team in the league. If the Eddies could just find one more goal a game, they could be very, very dangerous.
Gabriel, right-hand side, done well to cut inside Eckersley there, but Ledgerwood showing why he's such a valuable player there for Edmonton, covering the back four, that defensive midfield role. And he plays well, making a good tackle to throw in for the Strikers. 0-0 after 13 minutes. Eckersley's going to walk into that one, but it's won back by Arguez. Break on for Edmonton. Fordyce playing it through for Amiobi to chase. Good job by Julius James there to stay on his feet, play that one confidently back to his goalkeeper. A very poor clearance by Restrepo. And Edmonton almost back on the break again there, but Korea's ball just sliced away from its intended target. Ledgerwood has to win it back again, and Albert Watson is the one who kicks that one into the umbrellas in the stands. It's going to be a throw-in for the Strikers.
And Julius James does do very well there. He gets on his horse and stays with Tomi Amiobi, stays ball side. So he doesn't have to reach around or come around the striker to get to the ball.
Keegan just giving that one away like it was a bit of a hot potato there down the left-hand side, and it's going to be another throw-in for the Eddies.
Keegan, let's get possession, let's go!
Vano, up goes Amiobi, and Bossaman Monde, a very difficult man to beat in the air. And in fact, on that occasion, the referee spotting a push in the back. Free kick for Edmonton here, so here's a chance for the Eddies to try and get some attacks going. Fordyce, the man standing over the ball.
Kyle Zanardi was almost out of his coaching box with his displeasure over that call.
Correa on the right wing, steps in onto his left foot, drives it in low, easy for the defense, picked up by Ledgerwood. Diakate is trying to switch play to the left wing. Eckersley gets up to win the header. Good effort by him. Fordyce knocking it forward. One back again by Darryl Fordyce, and here's Keegan. He's going to try and go to the byline. Great cross into the middle, and Julius James gets his head on it, still up in there. Amiobi winning it back, drops in the penalty box again. Shamit Shom is chasing it, but it's being shielded away from him by PC. In the end, Luis Felipe running clear with the ball and playing a nice pass with the outside of his boot to Jason Mora. He's got support by Gabriel outside of him. Luis Felipe again, he's been lethal from that range, and this time they spot that, charge it down. And it's going to be a chance for Keegan to begin another attack on the left-hand side. Plays it infield to Darryl Fordyce. Fordyce goes backwards to Watson. Midfield, a bit of a crowded area just as he got possession, so they restart from the back. Again, very persistent rain happening here at Clarke Stadium, and it's driving right into the faces of Edmonton at the moment. Ball over the top by Correa, just a touch too far for Keegan, and on these slippery conditions, that's going to drift out very quickly for a goal kick.
You go back a minute there, and you talked about Julius James cutting out that cross. That was vital because Shamit Shom was at the far post, and he was wide open. And had that ball got over Julius James, Shamit Shom had basically what amounted to a tap-in with being absolutely unmarked at the far post on that cross. So Julius James, the very big defensive play. He's come with a couple of very big defensive plays for Fort Lauderdale early in this match. It's been impressive.
Fordyce winning a good header there. Correa on the chest, goes past one man, takes another left-footed touch. Good little dribble by Correa there, he's still going. Good bit of skill, and he's won himself a free kick on the left-hand side. And this is where Eckersley's got a very dangerous left foot. These kinds of situations from the dead ball. Watson's up, Diakate's in that crowd of players in the box too. It's gone deep to the far post. Nice bend on it, headed down towards Shom. Shom trying to get the ball back in the box. It was an unfortunate slip at a vital moment there, and the through ball goes to Amiobi. He's got it back in towards Keegan, and that's going to be deflected out for a corner.
Just enough of a touch, and I think this is Julius James again. He gets just enough to this to disturb the play, and I think if that gets out front to Keegan there, yeah, it is Julius James. He gets down, and he had Keegan at the near post.
Excellent timing in that tackle as well, in the penalty area. He can't make a mistake from there. And he did very good play to recover from Alexander's slip. Corner from the right-hand side, headed down by Diakate. There was a infringement spotted, I think, against Correa. And a free kick given to the Strikers. Still 0-0.
He could have given one on Diakate, too. He pushed Agbusamande in the back before getting up for that.
And you can see from that shot the direction of the rain, too, and just how torrential it looks. Up the right-hand side, Watson goes for the same ball as Ledgerwood there, but it works out well because Shamit Shom's running away with it, just showed a bit too much of it to PC and then was high in the tackle. And I think Shom's going to earn himself a place in the referee's notebook for that high challenge on PC.
But I think it's Luis Felipe comes in late after the whistle there on Daryl Fordyce, and I think FC Edmonton's saying, what, you're going to let that one go, when he came in very late after the whistle. So here's Shom coming in late on PC. But then you'll see here Fordyce, and yeah, it's very late.
Look, it's holy water raining down. He's scared.
You know, when the turf is this wet too, a lot of those tackles are gonna, you can get a lot of speed when you hit the ground, when you hit the deck. And really, this shows no sign of letting up, Gareth. I think we're going to be in these conditions for the 90 minutes. It's just a matter of there's going to be no lightning.
Yeah, that's when it gets dangerous for the players. There have to be delays as for the lightning situation. For the rain, more of a problem for the spectators than the players. In comes the corner for the Strikers, headed away by Watson, edge of the area. That's a shot driven over the top by Alexander, goal kick.
Well, when the teams came out for the anthems just before 2 o'clock local time, it was driving the rain. The referee was quite ready to play in those conditions, and that was driving, but it was the lightning that forced everyone inside.
See the early statistics of shots on goal. Not looking great for FC Edmonton. 3 for the Strikers, none for the Eddies.
Yeah, you can name them both. Luis Felipe with 2 and PC with 1 on those long-range tries. But all of them that tested Matt Van Oekel somewhat. And again, in these conditions, no save is a gimme.
Amiobi on the chest. A run from Korea on the right wing. He has just driven that one down the right channel. Amiobi was never going to get to that. It's a goal kick for the Strikers and still 0-0.
But you made the point, too, that FC Edmonton in this first half is going into that wind, into the teeth of the rain, and that's going to switch after halftime. So Fort Lauderdale has that. If there is a weather advantage, Fort Lauderdale has it in the first half.
Kept in well there on the left wing. Referee waving away appeals for a free kick made by Maicon Santos. A throw in for the Strikers. Eckersley deep down in his own corner flag area there, but plays a nice triangle with Fordyce and then to Keegan. Keegan prodding it ahead, looking for Amiobi. Ledgerwood picking it up, but it's taken away from him by Gabriel. Edmonton just struggling to get going, really, at the moment.
Yeah, having a hard time putting some passes together, and there's been some errant passes out of the back that Fort Lauderdale's been able to pounce on, and it's created some of those shots that we talked about a minute ago.
Both coaches, Kaio Zanardi and Colin Miller, working the touchline, trying to encourage their teams. An offside flag against Maicon Santos there. Eckersley chipping on forward, looking for Amiobi, headed away well by Agnos Monde. Challenge in the midfield that Jason Mora comes out ahead with. Victor Pineda, just a misunderstanding there that broke things down for the Strikers, and here's Shom Getting the ball under control for Edmonton. Nicola driving it up the right wing, looking for Amiobi. Throw in.
Yeah, we talked about just recently the Eddies having no shots on goal yet. And again, really got to get something towards the goal, make the keeper work. Ball gets wet like this, anything can happen.
Control by Watson, picks out Ledgerwood now. Sean Nicola. Shimmy shown. Back towards Fordyce. Fordyce picking out Correa. Correa's got Eckersley overlapping on the left. Here he is. First time cross to the far post. Shown flying after it, but headed away well by PC. Good defensive work from the Brazilian. Just breaking down for him. It's going to go behind for an Edmonton goal kick. Fordyce flicking a header on towards Keegan, who's switched flanks at the moment with Correa. They're both trying their luck on opposite wings at the minute. Eckersley's ball intended for Correa, but won by Gabriel, but it's back in possession for Edmonton. Diakite crossing halfway for the Eddies here. Given for the Strikers, middle of the field against Luis Felipe. Down Fordyce penalized there.
Strikers once again, another set play opportunity. This time they just choose to distribute it. Short ball.
Ledgerwood's pass picked off by Gabriel, who's made a good break here to the edge of the area. Jason Mora supporting him into the box. It tries the strike, charged down by Watson.
He wanted a handball. There's no way you're going to get that call. Albert Watson's arms were down by his side. Didn't know much about that shot. He just was holding his ground.
Yeah, and very good tactically as well. Kept it, didn't shy away from it, didn't turn around or anything like that. Just stood still.
Yeah, that's if that ball strikes him on the arm, it's clearly ball to arm, ball to hand.
Just missed kicking a clearance there into the stands. It's going to be a throw-in. We played about half an hour, still 0-0 at Clarke Stadium. Here's Correa. Not his best pass forward, you have to say. The area strike towards goal, and wasn't too far away by Mike Santos, but Van Oekel judged it well, knew it was just sailing over the angle.
Yeah, Mike Santos has a go again. 20-25 yards out, wraps his left foot around this. Just doesn't dip enough for him. Again, Fort Lauderdale just not afraid to have a go from that range, and I find that's I find that sort of refreshing. I find that's a problem with a lot of teams nowadays in the modern game is a lot of players pass that shot up from just outside the box. And I think you got to take that every now and then. You got to keep defenses on their toes. You got to force defenders to respect the fact that every once in a while you're going to shoot, and sometimes it goes off someone, and sometimes it bounces off someone and it works out in your favor.
There's the statistics looking at the aerial duels in this match today, and the Eddies winning most of the balls in the air, 62.5 to 37.5% for the Strikers. Yeah, especially conditions like this, shooting from long range, you never know what can happen. And I think they've had the right idea.
No, I think so. I think it has been. Matt Van Oekel's done well, and I think the way he's handled it, he's parried those shots. He hasn't tried to catch anything.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do. And I think knowing that you're Edmonton going the other way, that's definitely what Fort Lauderdale's keeper would have to do. Restrepo.
Luis Felipe from the left-hand side. Good cross in the penalty area there. Well controlled. And there's the strike towards goal. And another save by Matt Van Oekel. Got down very well, and the ball stuck. Excellent bit of goalkeeping once more. And he's definitely been the pick of the Eddies players.
And this all comes down from the knockdown here in the box. It's so well brought down. I think that's Gabriel who brings that over. Or is that Jason Moore who actually knocks that down? Jason Moore who knocks this down. And that leaves the shot for Pineda, former Indy 11 player. But really well done. You can't bring that ball down any better. He was able to turn around Eckersley and lay that ball off. But a very good save from Matt Van Oekel. And honestly, Matt Van Oekel, I think, has been the Eddies' best player in this half.
Yeah, not too much doubt about that. Another very good stop. The other end, Amiobi getting his head on the ball. Brought forward by Shamit Shom, who's got a free kick in a very good position for Edmonton here, just about 25 yards from goal. Good foraging run forward by Shom. Showed a lot of desire there to pick up that loose ball. Just kept going and then just pushed down. Free kick for Edmonton.
Fort Lauderdale's had the bulk of the play, but now it's a big chance for the Eddies. And we talked about that wet ball. Just got to get this over the wall, make the keeper work. Will this be Dustin Correa or Daryl Fordyce? Left foot or right foot? Close enough to the middle where you could make an argument for either.
Fordyce strikes it, didn't quite get the right height on that one. It goes over the top, never a threat for Restrepo.
A little bit of hesitation there as Dustin Correa made his fake to come over the ball, and I don't know if that actually threw off Fordyce's strike there. Look, there's a little bit of a hesitation there, not a clean run up to the ball to get under it a little bit and put it over harmlessly.
Headed forward by Fordyce there, and Amiobi chasing onto it, well policed by Agbosamonde. Aguez beating Fordyce to that one, and forward it goes, but it will be Diakate that will just allow that one to trickle through to Van Oekel.
ball's just skidding on the surface now. I think when you're starting to see the players control it, it's a real difficult thing to keep close control on it because that ball just wants to hop away from you.
He thought about that. He thought about that. And then you did it.
Gabriel, I think, is getting his final warning from the referee. It's usually Rudolph.
A bit of an aimless ball forward there by Diakite. No one's going to get on the end of that.
It's because Dustin Correa was tying his shoe. I don't know if Pop Diakite didn't see that, but Correa was down making an equipment repair down that wing, and I think he played that ball up thinking that that would be a ball for Dustin Correa, but Correa was on one knee getting his shoelaces fixed.
0-0, 10 minutes to half-time at Clarke Stadium. There winning the ball back against Ledgerwood. Arguez seeing the overlapping run on the right-hand side. Doesn't take too much to overhit a pass on a slippery surface like this, and that's what happened there. Gabriel couldn't catch it to throw in. Home fans trying to give their team a lift.
The bright side, the rain is actually, this is as light as it's been all day long, or since the game began.
Keegan trying to turn the ball to the right-hand side. Here's Niklaw. That pass has made its way through to Keegan. It'll be an Eddie's throw from the right wing. Might have actually just stopped raining as well at this point in the game.
Just spitting a little bit, but considering with the conditions that we've had, this is a nice little respite.
Comparison
See, the fouls are about the same. 6 for the Strikers, 7 for Edmonton. Certainly not a dirty game by any means. Just a couple of mistimed challenges.
No, and I think you get that in the wet turf as well. Sometimes those tackles look a little bit worse than they intended to be.
And Obi winning a free kick there for Edmonton.
Kyle Zanardi is really animated right now on the bench, a Fort Lauderdale bench. He is really letting the fourth official have it. The fourth official has gone over to Fort Lauderdale's area and trying to calm him down.
Eckersley's free kick. Goalkeeper came for it, got a slight touch on it maybe. PC has picked it up and he's chasing away with the ball. That's going completely astray into touch for a throw-in. Correa trying to go around his man there, but Gabriel equal to it. Good defensive play by him.
I'm gonna say it's quite the scene down by the Fort Lauderdale bench. The fourth official still trying to calm Kyle Zanardi down. You're just saying this doesn't seem like a dirty game or that the fouls or doesn't seem to be any great controversy in our minds in terms of the way the game is being called.
Pat Diakite is going to get a needless yellow card there for kicking the ball away after the whistle had gone and just launching it into Strikers territory. Perhaps a little bit harsh, but the whistle had gone. And I think the referee saw it as time wasting with 5 minutes to go before halftime.
Those are the yellows that bite me too. Those are the ones where you get that second yellow and you think to yourself, it's not the second one that got in all the world of trouble, it's the first one.
Bit of a frustrating yellow card, that.
Yeah, obviously.
Not something that was really needed.
And I don't know how many times I've seen that, Gareth, in games where a player gets a second yellow and gets sent off. And it's that first yellow where they do something like kick the ball away or take their shirt off or just talk too much. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, the second one you got for a tackle or a challenge, it's actually the first one that got you into all that world of trouble, that mess.
Couple of minutes to half-time. Bit of a frustrating half for Edmonton. The Strikers have been able to cope with everything they've thrown at them so far. Not really any saves for Restrepo to make at all that I can remember.
No, I don't think there's been a shot on target from FC Edmonton. I think Daryl Fordyce's free kick that went over was as close as the Eddies have had to a chance. And I think Matt Van Oekel's had to make 4 saves. I think the best one that Van Oekel made was the one on Pineda. Jimmy Fort Lauderdale's most recent chance.
Getting down low to his left. Very good stop. Couple from Luis Felipe and from PC from a long free kick.
That's the thing. The Eddies are putting these balls into the box, and there's just no one there. There's just no one there to pick up that ball, and the ball's launched into the area, but no one making a run, no one making themselves dangerous. And yeah, it's just a giveaway.
Arguez goes down under a challenge from behind. That's going to be another yellow card, this time for Nick Ledgerwood. He's the 3rd Eddies player to go in the book this half, along with Diakite and Shamit Shone.
Ledgerwood, who was suspended last week for yellow card accumulation, starts working on the next one. Unfortunately for the Eddies.
see from the left-hand side, headed away by Diakite.
It's a good header by Diakite. I think Albert Watson had fallen down in the box, lost his footing on the wet turf.
The first 45 minutes of the first half. There's 1 minute that will be added here. Easy run by PC to the edge of the box, but taken away from him by Edmonton. Have themselves a throw in.
You said it right, I think, Gareth, when you said this has been a frustrating half for FC Edmonton. There's not a lot going forward. Not really any chances, and really Diego Restrepo's had very, very little to do in Fort Lauderdale's goal. Yet he's got to address that. Maybe some changes, maybe bringing something Gustavo in, who was such a spark for them last week on the offensive side. Now you see on this attempt, Albert Watson in the box.
And that's it for the first half. 0-0 at Clarke Stadium. Fort Lauderdale Strikers with several attempts on goal, but finding Matt Van Oekel in very sharp form for Edmonton. And at the other end, the Eddies just struggling to find their rhythm today. And so at half-time, it is 0-0 here at Clarke Stadium. We're going to be hearing very soon from the Strikers coach, Kaio Zanardi.
Yeah, I just think he's coming down headset, and there he is. Coach, just maybe your thoughts on the first half, and maybe on the delay too, just how you handled that.
Yeah, we had a great first half. We play well, we press all the time, 45 minutes, only striker play. Now we have 45 minutes second half to score this goal. It will be very important for us.
And maybe just talk a little bit about the delay, about getting your team through that half hour, having to wait out the storm.
Yeah. We needed to control everything. We have more 45 minutes now for second half to look for the first goal. We know we are better, but we need to keep going to score.
All right, thank you.
Kaio Zanardi joining us on the touchline for the Strikers, and pleased with the way his team are playing at the moment in this first half. The game delayed by about 45 minutes for a lightning storm and torrential downpour, but we did get underway eventually. It's 0-0 at halftime. We can now hear from FC Edmonton coach Colin Miller joining us. Colin, just your analysis on the first half.
Yeah, we were very lucky there. I have to say that Fort Lauderdale were far superior, certainly in the attacking third. We dodged one or two bullets. I think one or two maybe afraid of a wee bit more rain happening here from our team, but not happy at all, allowing far too many shots. Matt Van Oekel was terrific there in the first half, and we've not put them under enough pressure higher up the park. And if we keep giving Fort Lauderdale the ball the way we have done there for spells in the first half, then it's inevitable what will happen. We can't continue to give the ball away as easy as we have done, especially when we're not been under pressure. So we have to be a bit better. We'll address one or two things here at half time. Definitely not out of it. We just have to step up a little bit higher, be a little bit more creative in the middle of the park, and quicker in possession. We've been far too slow looking at passes and taking 5 and 6 touches before we play the pass, and that's given Fort Lauderdale a chance to set up. So we have to be a wee bit more lethal when we attack.
Okay, thank you, Colin.
Thank you.
That is Coach Colin Miller, a very honest assessment of his team. Not very pleased at halftime, but it is 0-0, and it's anybody's game, all to play for in the second half from Clarke Stadium. 0-0 at halftime between Edmonton and Fort Lauderdale. Welcome back to Clarke Stadium. The rain seems to have stopped. You can even see some blue sky over the arena here, and we are all set for the second half, all to play for. 0-0 at halftime.
We're going to see I'm interested to see how long Colin Miller goes with this 11. He did say very lucky to be 0-0 at halftime.
May well be considering substitutions at some point. but has sent out the same 11 for the second half to try to get going. Niklaw playing it forward for Korea. Korea back for Sean Niklaw, and in comes the cross to the near post. That's going to be headed out for a throw-in, but a good positive start for the Eddies. And they forced an early corner, so a good start here for Edmonton.
Eckersley with the left foot. So expect this to be an outswinger. Diakite and Watson, or sorry, to be an inswinger, I should say, with the left foot.
Put it towards the penalty spot, and a dangerous looking corner kick, and it's been deflected out. The Eddies thought it should have been a corner from the opposite wing, but in fact a goal kick has been given.
Diakite saying that I think he says it went off a Fort Lauderdale player after it hit me. Diakite scored a couple on set pieces.
Strikers have got a break on down this left-hand side. PC arriving to the edge of the penalty area. Just to poke this one forward down the line, and Victor Pineda in possession here. Yellow card for a Strikers player, and it's Pineda in the book for a late tackle on Korea.
I know the card's coming, but I'm not sure why the referee stopped the play there. I mean, Edmonton had the ball in a good position, and Korea had already played the ball up, and the Eddies were building an attack there. I mean, that's one where I think he can go back and show a yellow card to the player and play the advantage.
We've seen that happen with a couple of referees this season that have pulled back the play and shown the yellow card after the advantage has been allowed, but on this occasion just brandished the card instantly. It's a poor throw out by Restrepo, and it's going to be allowed to run into touch by Diakite, but it's FC Edmonton possession. Niklaw is going to take this throw in. Throw that gets away from the target of Ledgerwood, but is still held on to by the Eddies, and here is Eckersley from the left-hand side. Tried to go around the outside, but he's been dispossessed. Arguez running through the middle of the field.
Arguez had a great run going, and he had two strikers ahead of him run into offside positions. And you can see that he was frustrated there by not being able to put a pass up front, because both of his players had gone well behind Edmonton's back line. Both of his options there. A little bit of a lack of discipline by Fort Lauderdale there cost them.
Pull on the back behind Alexander by Fordyce there, surrendering a free kick to the Strikers. 0-0 the score. Arguez in possession. Throw-in given to Edmonton. time the holding's the other way around. Alexander on foot ice. Free kick for the Eddies.
See, Zanardi is back at it with the fourth official. He's been at the edge of the box. And pretty well every call, he's in the fourth official's ear. And I know he's been in trouble before. And I'm just, honestly, this hasn't been a dirty game. But it's just at the edge of the box, and he's in the fourth. The fourth official in the first half came over, tried to calm him down. I just don't think you help your team at all with that.
There's a great delivery into the area. Well done by Restrepo. Niklaw's strike is not his best. That's gone behind for a goal kick, and two Strikers players are going to need treatment here, including Restrepo.
Is that Restrepo and Agusamande both? No. Alexander and Restrepo.
He's back up walking now. It's Restrepo who's flat on his back. Another slight delay to the game here.
Just when that ball went into the mixer there. You see it. Restrepo comes out. Oh, and he hits his own man, Alexander. It looks to me like Alexander gets the worst out of it, and then Restrepo goes down afterwards. But it certainly looks like Alexander got it a lot worse off than Restrepo, but Restrepo was the one that stayed down.
Bit of a delayed reaction to his injury there initially after Alexander went down.
It's his shoulder and his arm. I mean, he comes through where he hits Alexander with his arms. But the backup keeper is warming up. Bruno Cardoso.
Next home game coming up for FC Edmonton, the Ottawa Fury All-Canadian matchup, Sunday, July 17th, and you can get tickets for that one at fcedmonton.com, and we'll be live on City TV from Clarke Stadium. Restrepo's back up on his feet. It's going to be okay to carry on. Flicked on by Luis Felipe, picked up by Diakite.
Fort Lauderdale is going to be making a change, though. I see the coaches are calling over a player to come into the game. Dos Santos is having a chat with a player to come on for Fort Lauderdale. Of course, Philip Dos Santos is the brother of Mark Dos Santos. And Philip Dos Santos was a technical director of the Canadian Soccer Association for a while, and with the Ottawa Fury before as well.
Offside given against Jason Mora there. Worked out well for Edmonton. They played in Keegan. Keegan infield to Amiobi, still going there, and is he brought down? Referee says no penalty. He was right on the spot. But Amiobi, they just moved the ball a bit quicker there. Played in Keegan on the left. It came into the middle, and all of a sudden it opened up.
Yeah, Amiobi's control just lets him down a bit here. The ball comes out a little too far in front of him, off his chest. Is he able to get that closer to his body? He's going to be able to play that ball and take control of it, and then either force a Fort Lauderdale player to foul him or get something towards goal, but letting that ball get away just a little bit.
0-0 game as Maicon Santos plays the ball back to BC.
And Jose Angulo is ready to come into the game. Fresh legs in attack for Fort Lauderdale.
Well, that's a bad mistake by Shamit Shome on the edge of his own penalty area, and Luis Felipe just couldn't make it pay and has run the ball into touch. It's going to be a goal kick, and that'll be a relief for Shamit Shone.
No communication there between Luis Felipe. Mike Santos just stood still as Luis Felipe took that ball from Shamit Shone. I see Mike Santos is going off now. I don't know if he's carrying an injury, but he just didn't move at all. And as Felipe looked to his left to say, "Where are you? Like, you should be here with me on this attack." And Santos was just rooted to the spot. So, not sure if that's an injury or not, and that's the reason that he had to come off for Angulo. But Felipe was left on his own run.
Well, Shome just lost control of it on the edge of his own box there, and something he'll not be wanting to do again. At the other end, it's Correa. Correa inside the penalty area tries to toe poke it through with a pass. In the end, has a throw in.
Yeah, he's got very lucky there. Very good bounce that ended up going their way into the penalty area. Correa had numbers if he could have been able to get that ball through a little bit quicker. But again, this goes back to what Colin Miller said at halftime about sometimes just too many touches, not moving the ball quickly enough.
Sean Nicklaw's throw. He's got a decent long throw on him. Good flick on as well. Away by the Strikers. But at least Edmonton getting some traction in the box.
There we see what could be a very interesting weapon with Sean Nicklaw and FC Edmonton. That throw, almost like a corner kick, going into the area.
Strikers have got a free kick here. PC will get the ball from James. Pineda. Arguez now looking to switch play to the left wing. Here's PC, gets his foot on the ball and puts in a great looking cross, and very well defended by Albert Watson in there. The flag was also up, so it's an offside that has been given, but Watson wasn't to know that, and he stayed very close to his man.
Yeah, Watson had a look there saying, where was my help there? Where was the help on the front post? But you're right, call went for the offside. Had it gone in, wouldn't have counted. It's actually now quite pleasant out. No wind at all, and
one of the things they tell you in Alberta, Steve, isn't it? If you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes. You never know what you get next.
You either get to wait 15 minutes or you're going to get 4 seasons in a day. Heard that one too.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what we've had today.
Just need a little snow.
And you wouldn't rule that out either. But, let's keep our fingers crossed. Angulo getting a touch on the left-hand side. And going down under the challenge and winning a free kick.
Absolute dog! What a piece of crap! Come on, Brett! You gotta be better than that! Are you new here? Come on!
And you can see the coaching staff of Fort Lauderdale are fourth officials over again, and I think this is because they feel that Nick Ledgerwood should have got a second yellow here, and that would have, because Nick Ledgerwood's on a yellow, and they want Nick Ledgerwood sent off, and Kyle Zanardi is all over the officials here. One of the officials come over to calm him down.
Put up a two-man wall, a three-man wall. Ledgerwood steps into that now. Free kick from the left. Drifted over to the far post and headed back towards goal, but it's gone behind. And the situation not taken full advantage of there by the Strikers. It'll be a goal kick. A couple of imaginary cards being shown by the Strikers coaching staff there. And none actually shown by the ref in that play. Obi flipped header in field to Fordyce. Fordyce sliding for the challenge. And conceding the free kick. The home crowd getting a bit agitated with the ref. wants to talk to Fordyce. I think he did get a touch on the ball, but then it was maybe the follow through that upset the referee. Look at that. Gets a touch on the ball. I'm not sure there's much wrong with that. From the left-hand side. Arguez moving back to PC. Diakite getting his head on it twice. Good battling for it there, and then Nicklaw completing the clearance. Drop for Shamit Shom. He's done well to win that one. Tries to slide it into the path of Fordyce, and now Jake Keegan seeing more of the ball this half. Overlapping on the left is Eckersley. Edgewood switching play to the right wing. Here's Nicklaw. Good ball into the path of Amiobi. Amiobi to Korea. Korea challenge with PC losing out. PC starting another attack for the Strikers. Luis Felipe's done very well. He's charged down there by Diakite, who is taken late there by PC, and that is going to be a yellow card for sure.
And Zanardi's out of his box again with the official. I mean, I know I'm focusing on what's going on, but he can't come out of his box.
The crowd behind him mocking him for his antics. Yellow card for PC there as the free kick's taken towards Shom. And around the back is Keegan. Keegan's ball into the middle, just needs a touch there. There's the strike by Korea, and he's put it wide. Well, that's the best chance that Edmonton have had in the match.
The Eddie's Korea had a chance at that post. He just pulls this with his left foot well wide, but a good cross in. Dangerous. You get that ball low. Don't know where it's going to end up. Would the keeper have had it covered? I'm not sure. He made a good read to come over.
Nice sidestep on Korea there and on Shamit Shom, and his through ball didn't look bad either, but was very well intercepted by Pat Diakite. Van Oekel juggling with it a bit from the back pass.
He took a bit of an awkward bounce on Matt Van Oekel.
Amiobi and Fordyce going up. That and Alexander penalised for a challenge on Fordyce. Another free kick for Edmonton. Further up the field, Luis Felipe clutching his shoulder, it looks like there on the ground.
Look here. Shoulder to shoulder there. Ledgerwood on Felipe. Yeah, there's nothing really dirty about that. That's just shoulder to shoulder, two players going up for the ball. Ramon Nunez is going to come on for Fort Lauderdale. Looks like, and Paulo Jr. was just acquired from the Ottawa Fury in a trade for Giuseppe Gentile. They're both going to come on, so that would be all of Fort Lauderdale's moves used.
Felipe just leaving the field here. Nunez waiting to come on, and Paulo Jr. so newly acquired, his name's not on the back of his shirt yet. Worked out well for Angulo, but just touches it too far, and in the end Watson and Shamit Shome able to get that ball away from the danger zone, and now these substitutions can happen.
Angulo very close there. That touch just a little bit heavy. Showed a little bit too much of the ball.
Victor Pineda coming off to be replaced by Nunez, wearing the number 9.
Number 27, Victor Pineda out.
Looks like Jason Mora being replaced by Paulo Jr. making his first appearance for the Strikers.
Paulo Jr. was a striker in the past too, before a few years back.
Getting his first touch here on the right-hand side.
Paulo Jr. scored for Ottawa in the Amway Canadian Championship this year, so he had a mark on that tournament. That means we won't see Nana Adekora, the Canadian defender, because Fort Lauderdale have used all of their subs. So now there's next 23 minutes, anything happens at Fort Lauderdale. Even though I see Nana Adekora peeling off his, I thought they used their 3 subs. Fort Lauderdale. They used 2 there, and they brought in Angulo. Yeah. I just saw a couple of their players peeling off their warm-up kits, and I got a little bit confused there. But I think they're just going to do a little keep warm exercise.
Here comes the free kick, and up goes Van Oekel, and very safe hands. Had a very good first 68 minutes here at Clarke Stadium today. Backpedaling header by PC. Gustavo's going to come on soon for the Eddies, the man who scored that wonder strike at Rio OKC. Number 20, just limbering up on the touchline. So he'll be coming in for a fairly short order here.
The chances, you think, if he sees gets another look like that from a 20-25 yards out, that he won't be shooting?
Flick on by Fordyce, but picked up by Agrosamonde. Julius James, a forward pass to Nunez. It's tackled by Ledgerwood. It's going to drop for Nicklaw. Shamit Shome, middle of the field. Fordyce control, just letting him down with that pass from Eckersley. His second touch was a sliding tackle that he didn't win. And it's with Nunez here on the left-hand side. Not a bad through ball that. Angulo's in behind the back. Good strike too across the keeper. But very good save again. Parried away by Matt Van Oekel.
And that was key because he had someone, there's another player coming in for Fort Lauderdale in the middle. If Van Oekel doesn't parry that away, he can put that rebound.
Fordyce at the other end has put FC Edmonton in front. Terrific through ball from Keegan. This time Fordyce's control was impeccable. And his second touch, beauty.
You know, I don't like to use that analogy, but it's almost hockey-like, where you have the one chance down at one end, and then you take it right down the other end, and you score. Matt Van Oekel, it's stops Angulo, and he actually, by the way he parries that out, sets the Eddies off on the counterattack. And you're right, great ball, but great control by Fordyce here. Just fantastic. And I said that you needed more production out of Fordyce and Amiobi, and Fordyce answers. Great control, great goal.
What a finish by Daryl Fordyce. A great attacking move. Keegan definitely had more of the ball in this second half. Picks out an excellent pass. Fordyce stepping into it. His second goal of the season.
An excellent pass, but Daryl Fordyce still had a lot to do.
Yeah.
And he had to, that first touch to control that, knock that down, and to put himself in such great scoring position with two striker defenders around him. That was just fantastic skill by Daryl Fordyce. Wonderful goal.
Substitution while the celebrations were happening there. Ledgerwood has come off, and Gustavo is on for the Eddies.
Wonder if that's Colin Miller knowing that that his man is on a yellow and was walking the tightrope on a foul a little bit earlier, and knows might not get the benefit of the doubt next time.
Big boot forward by Van Oekel there, right to the edge of the area, but the Strikers defending it well.
Of course, Colin Miller had set up that sub before the goal. Already had the plan ready.
His mind obviously made up to continue with it. Change the balance and the shape a little bit. Gustavo getting a chance after getting on the score sheet against Ryder.
I talked about how Matt Van Oekel, the way he parried that ball out was to avoid Fort Lauderdale getting that rebound to get it away. And in fact, the way he parried it out, he sent them off on the counter really quickly.
Very good bit of goalkeeping from Van Oekel.
Excellent goalkeeping, excellent work by Keegan, and just a fantastic control first and then finish from Daryl Fordyce.
That ball's gone into touch from PC. It's going to be a goal kick. Junior on the right-hand side, trying to get on the end of that one. Good work by Eckersley. It'll be a throw in.
Is that Alan Zeeby who's being readied? Getting instructions there from Jeff Paulus, the Eddie's assistant coach. So the Eddie's ready to make their second change of the game.
Fordyce's goal, the difference between the teams. The Eddies with a 1-0 lead. Really important match, this one as well, and for so long the Strikers seemingly in control, but what a great breakaway goal for Edmonton.
And Fordyce, by that first touch, basically put himself in a situation where it was almost like a penalty. Look, that Restrepo had to guess. He just guessed and he dove to his left, and Fordyce just smashed it right up the middle on him.
course, Fordyce's other goal this season was a penalty. So he's pretty effective from that range. Zebi's getting ready to come on here. But in the meantime, there's an injury to skipper Albert Watson, who's going to need some examination here. And it's going to be Fordyce, the goal scorer, who's coming off to be replaced by Zebi.
Good hand there from the supporters of Daryl Fordyce. Well deserved. Very well taken goal. Said it was a great ball from Keegan, but Fordyce still had a lot to do. 2 defenders and a goalie to beat, and he did it all.
Excellent control, lovely finish. That'll feel nice for him today, Daryl Fordyce.
You know, I was kind of hoping that by now the supporters would have had a Daryl Fordyce is on fire chant or something like that.
I think that's about as close as we're going to get today. There's only one Daryl Fordyce. Yeah, he was probably hoping for that too, Steve.
I'd start it here, but I think we want to keep viewers.
I don't recommend it. Definitely one of the highlights of the Euros, that one.
That song was in my head for like a week.
Great spirit there. Looks like Albert Watson's okay. He's been forced to leave the pitch as the rules go, but he's actually running around to the halfway mark, so he's absolutely fine, and he's back out there. It's a big clearance that's going to bounce all the way through to Restrepo. Man, and that's going to be another card, this time for Julius James. Becoming a bit of an ill-tempered match with the number of cards. That's 6, I make it so far. In the game, we've still got 12 minutes to play. 12 minutes for the Eddies to negotiate here, holding a 1-0 lead. The Daryl Fordyce goal, the difference.
And we remember that last game that Fort Lauderdale lost here 2-1, but they had a real good push in the second half, so can't take anything for credit, or take anything for granted, I mean. Fort Lauderdale still may have a push in them. I'm sure the Eddies would love to get a second goal now.
Eckersley with the free kick.
They're not being conservative here. Their defenders are up.
Put that deep under the crossbar, and the whistle, though, has gone.
Diakite, as Busamande and Diakite having words. Diakite's got his arms behind his back with his knee. The foul here's going to make him retake this.
Trying to move the crowd of players out of the way that are swarming around him.
He picked those 2 players out. They're having a battle in the penalty area. And Busamande saying that I think Diakite elbowed him. Take a look here, and then it's hard. You got to pick them out of this crowd. Certainly wasn't at that spot, but they're. Fort Lauderdale's players are pretty hot.
Yeah, there's too many players around the referee there. It's not good to see. Substitution is going to happen here for the Eddies.
What's he called here? Okay, I think he's saying a retake here. I think he's basically said he's talked to his players, and Johan Smith is getting ready.
Tomiami Obi is going to be replaced by Smith. A lot of running today. Tomi Amiobi, good effort by him, and he's going to be replaced.
So after all that debate, it's just a retake. And for the Eddies, it's some time off the clock. Now, I don't know if it's going to end up showing up in the time added on.
He's gone to virtually exactly the same spot. This time Restrepo is unchallenged as he makes a routine catch.
And Amiobi's no longer in the game. That's a ball for him to chase.
Eckersley a bit exposed here, and Angulo just couldn't get the ball across far enough, and Van Oekel makes the save, but that counter-attack caught Edmonton a bit cold.
He had Paulo Jr. wide open, and he didn't get that ball over. And he apologized right away to Paulo Jr. A big moment in the match for Fort Lauderdale there. They had a chance on the break, and Paulo Jr. had peeled off, going down when the far post run was open.
FC Edmonton, with so many men committed forward there, were almost caught cold. Hold a 1-0 lead. Twisting and turning, finding support here from Luis Felipe, and now PC. Just going route one, and not a bad idea, just to take the pressure off. About 8 minutes left. To Edmonton. Alexander straight through the middle of the field. There's no flag up there as Angulo takes possession. He's still going here. Great bit of skill, and there's the pass. And very well cleared away by Eckersley, getting back into the danger zone. There's going to be more defensive work for Edmonton to do. Korea conceding a free kick.
Great little bit of skill here by Angulo. Knocked the ball over top of Diakite. But then it's cleared away.
Actually might have been Shamit Show who got on the end of that one. Good effort by the youngster.
The Eddies living dangerously here in the last couple of minutes. They brought on some defensive replacements, taking out a couple of forwards.
He's just chased that one into touch.
Throwing's actually not the worst thing in the world right now. Fort Lauderdale let the Eddies gain their shape and get a bit of a breather there. Fort Lauderdale's had some pressure in the last few minutes. Honestly, if there's anything, the Strikers have just got to learn to, in the next few minutes, not waste time themselves. I think they've been guilty of that the last few minutes, talking to the ref themselves, getting to these long discussions. And it's like, you're the ones behind. You want to get the ball back in play.
Wes being tracked by Zebi, but finds Alexander. Ball's gone into touch. Paulo Jr.'s control, just slipping away from him there. The last 5 minutes at Clarke Stadium, the Eddies 1-0 up. PC to the edge of the box, dispossessed well by Korea. Good strong challenge that, and a free kick for Edmonton. Going to slow things down a bit here. Gustavo, the man down.
He's saying he's okay, he just wants to come out for treatment, which means he's going to have to come off.
Nunez, the player penalized for that challenge.
Fans, don't forget, make sure you've got your tickets
the Strikers substitutes.
Next Sunday, July 17th, as we welcome the Ottawa Fury to town. Kickoff on that game is 2 p.m.
Gustavo's fine.
The sun's come out.
We definitely had a full range of conditions today. There, Korea's chasing it, has to go up to try to get the header, no match for Julius James, and now PC playing it through. There's no, oh, the flag did go up a little bit late, but there was a flag for offside against Angulo. Again, he's caught the eye since his introduction on the right-hand side now, pulls another trick. Supported by Arguez. Hit his pass, but it's going to find PC, and Korea's the one steps in front of him, makes the challenge. PC complaining again to the ref, but the free kick given to FC Edmonton.
You know, Gareth, I've heard many times where, you know, Colin Miller has said that the team, sometimes FC Edmonton, deserve better of games that they've may have drawn or lost, and they played fairly well in. And he said to me, you know, there's times I would much rather not play so well and get a 1-0 win. And this might be one of those occasions where you say, well, it might be one of those even up moments, because I think as a whole, Fort Lauderdale has done a lot of positive things today. They got caught once on the break after what was a fairly good scoring chance for the Strikers. In the end, if the Eddies get 3 points, they're not going to complain how they got them.
Edmonton becoming a tough nut to crack in this league. Van Oekel again, a key part of that today. Some very fine saves by the Eddies goalkeeper.
They definitely kept them alive in it, and he did play a role in that goal with the way he parried that ball out and set the Eddies on the counter. So, a very positive day for the big man in net.
Last 2 minutes of the game, Gustavo's conceded a free kick here.
Obviously, a couple more minutes to go and then stoppage time, so he may be called upon to play another part in this game. Fort Lauderdale got everyone forward here. There's no one hanging back. Keeper's up to halfway here. Everyone's come forward to attack this set piece.
Goes from Ramon Nunez. Van Oekel makes himself look big again, makes another brave stop. Ball still bobbling around in there, headed towards goal, and Van Oekel picks it up and makes the save. He's seen the keeper off his line. He's booted it long. Keegan's chasing it. And Restrepo calmly heading it, though. Doing a good job there defensively for his team.
But Restrepo couldn't catch that, at least, and forces at least that he could just get right back down the field. Even though Fort Lauderdale done well to get right back on him.
Still plenty of time to go as another strike towards goal by Paolo Jr. drifts wide towards the corner flag. But we have got 30 seconds left of normal time. But then we're hearing 6 minutes of stoppages will be added after that.
Restrepo was down for a while. Gustavo was down, and there was some moments where I say there were some extended discussions with the referee, Mr. Rudolph. So still a long way to go.
You see the confirmation of the 6 minutes of added time.
Let's go, Blue!
back on there, but it drops for Agbusimonde. His ball is a nothing ball through, though, and it will be a throw-in for Edmonton. And they'll not be in a hurry to take any of these throws or free kicks at this point in the game. Sean Nichols throw up the line. Keegan does well, gets a good touch on it for Correa. Just feeds it infield to Gustavo. Gustavo keeps going here. It's not a bad run. Now he checks his run. Goes the other side again. Cuts it back for Correa. Correa maybe a bit too cute with it there. It's taken away from him.
I think maybe Gustavo could have kept that in the corner too. He could have tried to hold on to that.
Paolo Jr. has made the break towards the edge of the box here. Nunez darting down that left-hand side. Comes the cross on the chest of Alexander, taken away from him by Johan Smith, who plays it up the middle of the field. PC has it, he's charging forward again for the Strikers. Nunez again, he's going to put the cross in, flick towards goal, straight at Matt Van Oekel.
Wow, Paulo Jr. was wide open, had an open header, and he puts that right at Matt Van Oekel. What a great opportunity for the Strikers to equalize here in stoppage time. Paulo Jr. had lost his markers. If you take a look at this, look how wide open he is. Well, he's got to do better than to nod that right at the keeper.
Stayed with him all the way. To the penalty area, the strike charge down, and it's with Keegan. He's cutting a lone figure, though, there. Agbusimonde bringing it forward.
Keegan wasn't able to get that into the Fort Lauderdale half. That's what he's trying to do, just to ease the ball in. Luis Felipe obliges there with a bad ball.
Kept in by Paolo Jr. Tries the cross from the right-hand side. Eckersley is going to thump it clear. It's made it past halfway, but Restrepo virtually playing centre half at the moment, right on the halfway line. He's going to just hand that off to Luis Felipe. Colin Miller now trying to pull all his players forward. They look a little tired, a bit heavy leg maybe from this waterlogged surface. Defending really deep, and he's trying to pull them out. Johan Smith getting an important head on that one, and here's Keegan now. Keegan tackled, but Nicola is there. Going to get possession and find Gustavo. Maybe this time he'll take it into the corner flag. Nicola is overlapping. He's played it in field to Correa, but it's not a good pass.
It's not a good decision by Gustavo. He got to hold on to that ball. Like you said, get that into the corner. You just can't give the ball back away.
We are playing 6 minutes of added time. We're deep into stoppage time now, but Fort Lauderdale coming forward in droves, and Edmonton just hanging on at this point. Felipe into the penalty area. Paolo Jr. takes a strike. It's deflected. And a drift out of play for a throw-in to the Strikers.
Have this to defend. We'll see what kind of arms Agbusimonde has here, firing this in.
Another throw in for the Strikers. Marquez in the area, good first touch and volley pass into the middle, but well played by Correa to get on the end of that one. Zebi's chasing it. And he's got on the end of it. Zebi here. He's done extremely well and gets bundled over by Alexander. That's a free kick for Edmonton, and that's a really important effort by Alan Zebi.
Yeah, that's all it is his willpower. You want to get on it. He's got fresh legs. They brought him in to freshen up that lineup, to offer that speed. And if that's just what Zebi does in this game, that's a gamble paid off for Colin Miller. So Fort Lauderdale had a lot of pressure on the Eddies' goal. And the Eddies were playing a lot of players back. I think they're trying to do this to kill time, and Dustin Correa will take this into the corner.
And that's it. 3 points for FC Edmonton. Colin Miller punches the air. Daryl Fordyce's only goal is the difference between the teams. A little harsh on the Strikers, who really pushed hard towards the end of the match as well. And in the first half, as Colin Miller admitted, made the running of the play. But this Edmonton team has got some character.
Yeah, and in the end, it's 3 points, and not necessarily care how they get it. And in the end, it's the result. That's all that matters, right? And today it wasn't pretty for the Eddies, but they'll look at the fall season, say we've got 4 points. Overall, we stay in the top group of teams, the overall table. And again, they would say, look, if the season ended today, we'd be a playoff team.
Stay with us for our post-game show. 3 points for FC Edmonton, a 1-0 win today over the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Welcome back to Clarke Stadium, where the fans are going home happy today. 3 points for FC Edmonton, a 1-0 win they've been able to notch over the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Daryl Fordyce with the only goal of the game in the 70th minute, and a good one too, to give Edmonton a victory at home in the first home match of the fall season in the NASL. We're going to hear from both coaches now. First, the coach of the Strikers, Kaio Zanardi.
Coach, it seems that one counter-attack from Edmonton was the difference today.
Yeah, we control all the match, 90 minutes. We play with ball possession. We create so many chances. Only one ball in counter-attack. They scored. This is the football. But we create a lot of things today. We need to prepare for next match against Indy away. But today it's unbelievable. We control everything. We lost 5 or 6 great chances first half. Second half, 2 or 3 chances again. We open the team, we pressure. One counter-attack we lost.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Kaio Zanardi describing it as unbelievable that the Strikers have managed to lose after he believes they controlled the game. You can see the Eddies players there signing autographs. That's one of the things that the home fans are able to do, is go onto the pitch actually after every game, and the players will sign as many autographs as are needed. Good sports like that, and pretty happy today with 3 points in the bag after the game with a 1-0 win. Daryl Fordyce with the only goal. Let's hear from Coach Colin Miller joining us from the pitch. Colin, you wanted a reaction at half-time. What made the difference in the second half today?
We actually spoke about getting Daryl Fordyce further forward, Gareth, because he was lying so deep that must have been very easy to defend against us in the first half, because we had nobody making any penetrating runs from the middle of the park to get forward to support Tommy. Tommy was fighting a lone battle up there himself, and this is a good back four that we're playing against, so we needed to get somebody up to support, and thankfully Daryl made the run, and once again he's the best finisher at the club, and he sticks that away, 99 times out of 100, so no surprise there at all. But I thought the second half we were much better. We closed the ball down quicker. We were up to the ball a wee bit better. We passed it a bit quicker. Sat a wee bit deep at the end, but we've made a number of changes there, as you can see. I took Nick Ledgerwood off because I was concerned he'd get a red card, to be honest with you. So Shamik Shom, put in a man much more older age performance there today. So he's gaining every day by experience in the first team. So so it's excellent. But I thought Albert played very well as well, keeping us nice and tight along with Big Pop. And a difficult first game for Sean Nicola, but I think the more he's in here, the more working with the team and getting understanding how we work things, Gareth, I think he'll be fine. And I just thought man of the match for me for sure is Matt Van Oekel, because the big man stood in his head there today, and I don't want that to be the case too often, that's for sure.
Great, well done, Colin.
Thank you.
3 points for FC Edmonton, and Colin Miller talking about Matt Van Oekel, as he mentioned at half-time, and again at full-time there, being the star player for his team today, and confirming that Nick Ledgerwood brought off because he was concerned about a second yellow card, which would have reduced his team to 10 men. Let's hear from the man of the match, who's Daryl Fordyce, with that goal. I don't want to embarrass you, Daryl, but Colin just talking about you as the best finisher at the club. Well done, nice goal. Just talk us through it.
I just seen Jake pick the ball up, and he got his head up, and I peeled off the second centre back, and what a great ball from Jake to pick me out. And unfortunately took a nice touch and then put a good striking goal. But yeah, it was good link-up play from myself and Jake, a bit like the last home game here. I think it's just strikers know where each other's going to run, and when a striker picks the ball up in midfield, he knows where the other striker's going to go. So yeah, it was a good performance from us second half. The first half we weren't so good, but we'll take a 3 points and move on from here.
That goal too came right off of after Matt made a big save and parried the ball out, and it seemed that you guys all just went on your horse and said we can counter-attack off this. Yeah,
Matt was super today. We came in half-time 0-0 and we could have been 3 or 4 down. But for Matt it was tremendous. The big man's a dream to have in goal for us, and as long as he keeps putting those performances in, we've always got a chance. And fair play to Matt, he worked so hard, and we thank him for that.
We were all waiting for the song Daryl Fordyce is on fire.
Yeah, I heard it.
Maybe we'll hear more of that. Well done today, Daryl.
Thanks. All the best.
You too, Daryl. Daryl Fordyce on target today. 1-0 for FC Edmonton. Let's look back at the highlights today. And the Strikers getting going early on, and Luis Felipe testing Matt Van Oekel. That swerving strike got some power in it too, and Van Oekel in form in the first half and all the way through the game.
And yes, these are tough shots from distance, but in those conditions it's very, very tricky. You know, we talked the rain was coming down, and another one that forces him to get up. And what Daryl Fordyce said, we could have been 3 or 4 down at halftime. So that's how poorly they felt they played in the first half. And as Nardi said, unbelievable to be down, or that they lost the game. So I think, you know, there's some critique there, a very positive critique of Matt Van Oekel's work, or reviews, I should say. Maybe critique's the wrong word to use, but keeper holds you in it. This is this whole thing. He parries the ball out, and that starts the Eddies on that attack going the other way. And they're just seconds after the ball's parried out. Ball from Keegan, Fordyce, what a finish. Just a fantastic finish.
Beautiful first touch, right into his path.
And Daryl Fordyce is on fire on that.
Yeah, great goal. And that gives FC Edmonton 3 points and continues the playoff push for the Eddies. They're right in the race in this North American Soccer League season. A rain-delayed game. It was torrential and lightning early on, but the Eddies coming back to take 3 points when the sun came out by the final whistle. And Fordyce's goal, the difference between the teams, and Edmonton looking strong in the early stages of the fall season. Coach Colin Miller thrilled with that. Home win for Edmonton. Thanks for joining us. Good night.